So there I was, nestled in the cushy leather of a first-class window seat, the plane's cabin lights casting a warm glow as passengers shuffled aboard, when this woman in a neon green sundress, think lime soda spilled on a picnic table, storms down the aisle, points a manicured claw right at my face, and declares my seat is hers. The whole cabin freezes, like we're all in a movie and someone just yelled cut, and I'm sitting there, laptop bag still in my lap, wondering how a routine flight to Denver turned into a showdown with a stranger who's acting like I stole her birthright. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching this from. Your couch in Texas, a cafe in Seattle, maybe a snowy cabin in Maine, because this story's a wild ride, and I want to know how far it's traveling. My name's Ryan Parker, 38, a marketing consultant who's spent the last 6 years building a small firm with my business partner, Lauren Hayes. She's 34, sharp as a tack, with this quiet strength that sneaks up on you. She's the kind who'd negotiate $1 million deal without breaking a sweat, but still blushes when someone compliments her coffee order. We were headed to a client pitch, our first big trip since landing a contract that could put our little company on the map. Lauren was in the aisle seat next to me, her navy blazer still crisp, scrolling through her phone with a little smile, probably texting her sister about the free champagne we were about to get. No delays, no lost bags, she murmured, leaning back. This trip's gonna be smooth. I snorted, because Lauren's optimism is like a sunny day in a hurricane. You love it, but you know better than to trust it. And sure enough, that's when Miss Neon Green, who we'd later learn was named Cheryl Vaughn, decided to make her grand entrance. Excuse me. Cheryl's voice cut through the hum of boarding like a foghorn, her arms crossed, hips cocked, blocking the aisle like she owned the plane. That's my seat, buddy. First class window, 3A. Move it. Every head in the cabin swiveled. Passengers paused mid-bin stuffing. A guy in a polo shirt lowered his book, and a kid with headphones peeked over his seat. I felt Lauren tense beside me, but she kept her cool, always the diplomat. I think there's a mix-up, she said, voice steady, pulling out her boarding pass. This is 3A, and I booked it weeks ago. See, she held up the ticket, clear as day, but Cheryl didn't even glance at it. Instead, she scoffed, loud enough to echo, her green dress shimmering under the lights like some kind of radioactive warning sign. That's fake, she snapped. People pull this crap all the time, printing junk off the internet. I paid for that seat, and I'm not sitting in the back like some peasant. The air in the cabin shifted, that awkward mix of secondhand embarrassment and morbid curiosity. A woman across the aisle adjusted her glasses, pretending to read, but her eyes were locked on us. I leaned forward, keeping my tone even but firm. Ma'am, they scanned our passes at the gate. The system doesn't let you board with a fake. Cheryl's glare swung to me like I'd just spit in her coffee. Don't you start with me, she hissed, jabbing a finger. I know how airlines screw people over, double booking, handing out upgrades to their favorites. You two probably schmoozed your way into my seat. Lauren let out a soft laugh, not mocking, just disbelieving. Schmooze, she said, raising an eyebrow. I paid for this with my own card. Nobody's stealing anything. But Cheryl leaned in closer, her perfume hitting us like a floral tsunami, and dropped her voice to a venomous whisper. Listen, sweetheart, I'm not spending 5 hours in economy with my bad back. I've got 3 kids at home. I deserve this seat more than you. That's when I couldn't hold back. You're traveling alone, I pointed out, probably sharper than I meant to. Her face twisted, eyes blazing. How dare you? She shrieked, loud enough to make the guy behind us flinch. My kids are with their dad. You think I should suffer just because I'm not dragging them along? What kind of heartless jerk are you? The cabin went dead quiet, except for a nervous cough a few rows back. Someone muttered, "Oh, here we go," and I caught a glimpse of a phone peeking over a seat. Yep, someone was recording. Lauren's jaw tightened, but she held firm. I'm sorry, but this is my seat, she said, voice like steel wrapped in velvet. I'm not moving. Cheryl slammed her hand on Lauren's armrest, rattling it so hard the tray table shook. You will move, she growled. I deserve that window seat, not some corporate wannabe playing dress up. The whole plane was watching now, a mix of annoyed glares and barely hidden smirks. I could feel Lauren's embarrassment. She hates being the center of attention, but she wasn't budging. I jumped in, trying to keep things from boiling over. Look, You're holding up boarding. Just take your seat, and we can sort this out. Cheryl spun on me, her voice hitting a new pitch. Sort it out? I'm not going anywhere until I get what's mine. That's when the flight attendant, a young guy named Mike with a tight smile, stepped in. Ma'am, what's the issue? He asked, his tone all customer service calm. Cheryl threw her hands toward us like we were criminals. These two stole my first-class seat. I paid for it, and now they're shoving me into economy. Mike frowned, checked Lauren's boarding pass, then glanced at Cheryl's phone when she shoved it in his face. His brow furrowed. Ma'am, your ticket says 28C. That's an economy. This seat's assigned to her. Cheryl's scream could have cracked the windows. That's a mistake. I was promised first class. Mike held up a hand, his patience thinning. Please lower your voice. We need to keep boarding moving. But Cheryl wasn't having it. She turned to the cabin, arms wide, like she was addressing a rally. You all see this, right? They're discriminating against me. They think I don't belong up here because I'm not some fancy business type. My life's stressful enough. I deserve this seat. A few passengers rolled their eyes. Others whispered to each other. The guy with the phone was definitely filming now, his smirk growing. Lauren whispered to me, She's losing it. I nodded. Let her. She's doing the work for us. The captain's voice crackled over the intercom, smooth but edged with irritation. Ladies and gentlemen, we're delayed due to a seating issue. Please bear with us. Cheryl's smirk widened, like she'd just won a round. She planted herself in the aisle, arms crossed, a human roadblock in neon green. Good, she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Let's delay this whole flight until I get justice. Lauren's fingers gripped her armrest, her calm starting to crack. Maybe I should just move, she muttered, more to herself than me. No way, I whispered back. You give in. She thinks screaming gets her whatever she wants. Hold your ground. Cheryl caught that, her eyes narrowing. Oh, you think you're so smug, sipping your fancy drinks up here? I'm not sitting in the back like some nobody. Either you move, or nobody's flying. The tension was thicker than the recycled air. Passengers were openly grumbling now. A mom with a toddler shot Cheryl a death glare, and a guy in a suit muttered, Just sit down already. Mike, the flight attendant, tried one more time. Ma'am, if you don't take your seat, we'll have to call security. Cheryl laughed, a sharp, bitter sound. Go ahead. I know my rights. I'll sue this airline for everything it's got. Then, in a move that stunned everyone, she pulled out her phone and started live streaming. Everyone watching, she announced, angling the camera to catch me and Lauren. This is the injustice I'm facing. These two stole my seat, and the airline's letting them. They think I'm not good enough for first class. The cabin erupted in murmurs, some shocked, some laughing. A woman behind us whispered, She's really doing this? Lauren's face flushed, not from fear but from the sheer absurdity of being broadcast to Cheryl's followers, whoever they were. I saw the comments scrolling on her screen, none of them kind, and her smirk faltered for a split second. I seized the moment, raising my voice just enough. If you paid for first class, why's your ticket for row 28? Care to explain that? Laughter rippled through the cabin, sharp and unforgiving. A guy 2 rows back called out, Yeah, I saw her ticket at the gate. Economy lady. Cheryl's face went beet red, her voice climbing. That's a system error. I was promised this seat. I leaned forward, calm but pointed. Promised by who? The same system you're calling broken? Pick a story. The passengers loved that. Claps broke out, a few whistles. Cheryl's eyes darted around, realizing she was losing her audience. You're all against me, she shouted, her voice cracking.